Hello guys, this is our first YouTube video. We would like to present some weird rules in Europe. They may seem strange for most people, but they always have a purpose. Let's begin the video, where I'll be presenting to you one of the weirdest laws in Europe. Today, I am going to talk about the Goblin Law of Czech Republic. It is an unique and strange law that has its roots in the medieval times. The law states that if a person happens to see a goblin, also known as a surt in Czech, they are legally required to offer it a shot of liquor or face severe consequences. Yes, you heard that right. The origins of this law can be traced back to the 16th century when Czech people were deeply superstitious and believed in the existence of various supernatural creatures, like goblins, fairies, and witches. They believed that these creatures could bring both good and bad luck, and that offering them a shot of liquor would appease them and prevent any harm from coming their way. While this law may seem absurd in today's world, it was taken very seriously back then and still holds a significant place in the Czech folklore. It's still not uncommon for people in rural areas of the country to leave a shot of liquor outside their homes to appease the goblins, especially during special occasions like Christmas and Easter. However, the law doesn't just stop at offering a shot of liquor to goblins. If a person happens to see a goblin, they are also required to make a cross with their right hand and spit 3 times over their left shoulder to ward off any evil spirits. Failure to do so could result in severe consequences, including bad luck, illness, or even death. The law may sound absurd, but it has managed to persist through the centuries and remains a part of the Czech cultural heritage. It serves as a reminder of the rich folklore and superstitions that were prevalent in the country in the past. In conclusion, the Goblin Law of Czech Republic is one of the weirdest laws in Europe and a testament to the country's rich cultural heritage. Although the law may seem absurd, it holds a special place in the hearts of the Czech people and serves as a reminder of their rich folklore and superstitions. In Europe, there's a weird law in Switzerland that requires all able-bodied men to keep a weapon in their home. This law is a holdover from Switzerland's long history of neutrality and military preparedness. Every able-bodied man between the ages of 20 and 42 must serve in the Swiss military, and as part of their service, they must keep a weapon in their home. The weapon must be a Swiss Army-issued firearm, and the man must be trained in its use. This law may seem strange to some, but it's rooted in the Swiss desire to maintain their independence and defend their country if necessary. The Swiss government believes that a well-armed populace is a deterrent to invasion and that, in the event of an attack, every able-bodied man will be ready to defend their country. While this law may seem unusual to those outside of Switzerland, it's seen as a matter of national pride by many Swiss citizens. In fact, some Swiss citizens view the law as a symbol of their country's commitment to freedom and independence. It's important to note that while the Swiss have a long history of firearms ownership, their rates of gun violence are among the lowest in the world. This is partly due to their strict gun control laws and the extensive training required for firearms ownership. In Europe, there is a peculiar law that many people might find strange. It's called the Belgian Air Guitar Championship Law, and it's a law that requires all participants in the Belgian Air Guitar Championship to obtain a permit before competing. This law was established in order to regulate the activity and ensure that it is carried out in a safe and responsible manner. The Belgian Air Guitar Championship is a popular event that takes place annually and attracts participants from all over the world. Competitors are required to perform their best air guitar moves in front of a panel of judges, who then award points based on their performance. The permit that participants must obtain before competing is designed to protect the safety of the competitors and the audience. It requires participants to undergo a medical examination to ensure that they are physically fit to compete and are not at risk of injuring themselves or others during the competition. In addition, the permit also requires participants to attend a safety training session where they will learn about the proper techniques for performing air guitar moves, as well as how to handle any potential accidents or emergencies that may arise during the competition. So, if you're an aspiring air guitarist and are planning to participate in the Belgian Air Guitar Championship, be sure to obtain your permit and follow the guidelines set forth by the law. Not only will it ensure that you are able to compete safely and responsibly, but it will also demonstrate your commitment to the art of air guitar and show that you take the competition seriously. In conclusion, the Belgian Air Guitar Championship law may seem strange and unusual, but it serves an important purpose and demonstrates the dedication and commitment of the participants to the art of air guitar. Whether you're a seasoned air guitarist or just starting out, be sure to follow the guidelines set forth by the law and have fun while you're at it. In Europe, there is a strange law that has existed for many years and it still baffles many people today. This law is known as the Forbidden Fruits Law, and it states that it is illegal to sell or offer for sale any kind of fruit or vegetable that does not conform to certain standards of size and shape. This law is based on the idea that the consumers of these fruits and vegetables would be misled, as they may be under the impression that they are getting a product that is of a certain quality, when in fact it may not be. To ensure that consumers are not misled, the law requires that all fruits and vegetables be sold only if they conform to certain strict standards of size and shape. This means that any fruit or vegetable that is too small, too large, too round, too square, or any other shape that is deemed to be abnormal, must be removed from the shelves and discarded. This is because the law believes that these fruits and vegetables are of a lesser quality and therefore should not be sold to the public. This law has been met with much criticism from the public, who believe that it is a waste of food and resources. However, despite the criticism, the law still remains in place and is enforced in many countries in Europe. Overall, the Forbidden Fruits Law is just one of many strange and unusual laws that exist in Europe. In Italy, it's illegal to feed the pigeons in St. Mark's Square in Venice. Yes, you heard that right. If you're caught feeding the pigeons in this famous square, you could face a fine. This law was introduced to protect the historic buildings in the square from the damage caused by the large number of pigeons. The pigeons have become a symbol of Venice, and the square is one of the city's most popular tourist attractions. However, the droppings left by the pigeons can cause damage to the historic buildings and make the square unsanitary. So, if you're planning a trip to Venice and want to feed the pigeons, be sure to do it outside of St. Mark's Square. Otherwise, you could find yourself facing a hefty fine for breaking this weird law. In conclusion, this is just one example of the many strange laws that exist in Europe. From laws governing the feeding of pigeons to regulations on what you can and can't wear in public, each country has its own unique laws that can seem strange or quirky to those unfamiliar with them. But, it's important to remember that these laws are put in place for a reason, whether it's to protect the city's history, maintain public health and safety. In Europe, there are many strange laws that are still on the books, but one that stands out is the Finnish law that states it's illegal to teach someone else magic. That's right, if you're caught teaching someone else how to perform magic spells or illusions, you could face up to 2 years in prison. This law dates back to the 19th century when the government was worried about the influence of witchcraft and black magic on society. However, it still stands today, making Finland one of the few countries in the world with such a law. But don't worry, magicians, the law is rarely enforced and is considered more of a historical oddity than a real threat. In fact, Finland is home to many talented magicians and illusionists who perform regularly without any legal repercussions. So, if you're traveling to Finland and want to learn a few magic tricks to impress your friends, you may want to think twice before finding a local wizard to teach you. You never know, you might end up behind bars for practicing the dark arts. In conclusion, this law is just one example of the many strange and unusual laws that exist in Europe, a testament to the rich and fascinating history of the continent. In Europe, there are many weird laws that are still in effect today. One such law is found in San Marino, a small republic surrounded by Italy. According to this law, it is illegal to whistle in the streets after 9 p.m. Yes, you heard that right. If you're caught whistling in the streets after 9 p.m., you could face fines or even imprisonment. The law is said to have been created to maintain peace and quiet in the densely populated city. However, this law is not just limited to San Marino. In fact, similar laws can be found in other cities across Europe as well. These laws are meant to enforce a noise curfew in the evenings and maintain peace and tranquility for the residents. While the law may seem strange and outdated, it is still enforced in San Marino and other cities across Europe. So, if you're planning a trip to these cities, it's best to avoid late-night whistling in the streets. In conclusion, Europe is home to many weird and quirky laws, each with its own unique history and purpose. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned some new things related to Europe. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like the video and write a comment about what you guys think about it.